When you think of desert builds, you probably think of sand, sandstone, flat roofs, maybe a dome. But what if I told you they could look like this? Today I'm pushing my usual desert style in a brand new direction. I think you're gonna like where it ends up. Last episode, we built the super fun bazaar. I think it looks great, but you guys did give me some feedback. You said, Quipz, you gotta build bigger. So today, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start on our industrial area. I have a couple of cool ideas to throw down over here. I think maybe we get a nice little bridge coming over this water. And we're gonna start like a big city entranceway. We're gonna blend the style from our normal desert into something very vibrant and colorful. So I think it's gonna be really great. Before we do that, we have this river here that we have to take care of. It is super vanilla, so we're gonna fix that. We're gonna jump right in, make it feel more deserty. So something I do really struggle with is explaining why I make these decisions I make throughout the episode, and I'm trying to get better at it, but we're doing cliffs today. I think cliffs are gonna look very cool. I don't really have a lot of excuses to build them very often, so here we go. So here you see me using the infamous dirt line method. This is useful for a lot of things. People use it for terraforming, they use it for figuring out shapes of a building. Now, this might be the cheapest and most simple tool you could use to plan out a build. Does it have to be dirt? No, you can use moss, you can use whatever. It's fine. Then I started figuring out the elevation changes, so we're not staring at a flat cliff top. Here, you can see me laying out sandstone, so then I can put the sand on top of it, since obviously sand's a gravity block. So now it's time to color it in. We're using some of the browner tones, so mud bricks, mud, stuff like that, and blending it all the way up to sand. This is important because we're trying to make the river feel wetter and the upper part feel drier since it's further away from the water. Then we wanted to add some foliage to the riverbanks. I used some strategies similar to what I used in the oasis pools with azalea leaves and moss blocks and cactus flowers along the side. Overall, I'm happy with how this cliff face is starting to shape up, but I ran out of materials. So we're gonna go grab some mud, we're gonna get some more mushrooms, and we're gonna finish up maybe one full face. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get them both done. What a big salmon. Oh my god. This is something I was freehanding. I didn't have a full plan, so I didn't have a material list to build off of. And I thought, oh, I'd have enough. One stack of mud was definitely not enough. So transition into me making some mud. This might be the most labor-intensive method of making mud ever, but it's how I have to do it since I don't have a mangrove swamp nearby due to large biomes. Then we got some mushrooms. We didn't need too many brown mushroom blocks, and you got a lot from each one, so I only grew 4. And here it is. My biggest mistake. Quipz, what do you mean it's your biggest mistake? It looks really good. Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I built it on the wrong side. Now, from up here, it does look very good. I'm very happy with it. But again, I wish I built it on this side because our big build's going to go up here. So when we go to cross the bridge, it's just a big gap. So before we start work on this brand new build over here, I'm going to have to gather a lot of materials. Don't mind these. I already got them. But here's a montage. Montage! We went through all the loose chests in my village and we were able to cross off all of the sand, sandstone, and smooth sandstone from the list. The next major item was spruce wood, and we made very quick work with that. Then came some very much needed tool durability from the villagers. We proceeded to chop and then strip some birch wood. A quick little journey to the Badlands for terracotta, purple variety. After dealing with a nosy neighbor, it was time to make some signs. A quick trip into the nether dimension for warped and crimson stems. When we returned, of course we had to strip them too. Both of them. Even more signs. An even nosier neighbor. Honey, honey, honey. For candles. Purple variety. It's enough signs already. It's enough signs. Don't forget the warp blocks. We need those too. And end material gathering montage. There's a few things I didn't include, like stairs and slabs, but you know, we got a lot of signs. It's gonna be a lot of signs. And I think we're ready to start putting this thing together right over here. So I laid out a little section here. This will be half the build. The other half will be on this side. And I just wanted to lay it out so we could see size-wise. It's not giant, but it is still gonna be big. So let's get this time lapse started. Now, Quipz, where'd you get this idea for this build? Well, I was browsing Pinterest, as one does, and I saw this super cool reference of a tall desert building with a lot of blue. Now, This one specifically, I built really relying on this reference, and then I branched off of it for our next build. I loved the colors. I thought they just popped super well, and all the little details just felt very similar to what I was doing in the desert oasis village. So I threw this together as quickly as I could. There were a few challenges, like not having enough blocks to finish all the way up, and not being able to use water because of the concrete powder. I ended up making it work. I used moss blocks as a pillar. We were able to get everything in. I think I specifically was drawn to the blue in the reference because the cyan on the dome that I built in the last episode, it felt so perfect. I'm extremely excited to experiment with more colors as I expand this city. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. If you are, leave a like, subscribe, do what you do. It means a lot to me. So here you can see me speeding through the rest of the build. We're almost done. Gotta get the roof on and then do the upper roof. There's still a few things that I didn't get to add. Like there's going to be a few anvils on top of this chimney on the left. I just can't afford it right now. There's too much iron. But yeah, here's a little zoom out. There we go. That's it. So we're about halfway done, and I wanted to check in quickly because you could see the vision now. I wanted to take our normal desert build style. Most of what we have on the bottom, it's similar shapes to what we've used over here. And I wanted to add color, a lot of color. So we have this interior base piece coming out as if somebody built on top of a desert house. And I think tying back up to the desert colors at the top did a really good job of making it feel more deserty. But yeah, I'm super happy with this. We have the other half to do, and let's get into that. For this time lapse, I'm going to rant off the dome about the struggles of not having shulker boxes in a survival world. And most of this is because these last two builds took me about 3 hours to put together. Not because it took me that long to place all the blocks, because I spent so much time going up and down to grab more blocks. And really, I had no other choice. I mean, I used way too many varieties of blocks, and there's just not enough space to hold it all. Mojang just needs to add something else to make early game inventory management easier. The problem is when you have stacks on stacks of items for a build, and you can't hold them all, it just takes way too much time to put it all up. If I had shulker boxes, this build probably would have been done a lot quicker, and maybe I would have had time to do something else for this episode, but I don't. So I had to spend a lot more time running back and forth, grabbing all the items I needed, and I'm still really happy with how this build came out, but man, the time commitment was just insane. Now, I'm not sure if I actually want to go get shulker boxes, because going to the end and getting elytras, it changes the whole pace of the game. I want to take it slow, and I've really been enjoying taking it slow. Just the gripes of the inventory have been bothering me a lot. Now, if only bundles could hold more than a stack of items, maybe 4 or 5, that would make them infinitely more useful and a good early game alternative to shulker boxes. Now, enough about that though, we have a few more finishing touches to put on this build. Here you can see me adding the archway to this build. I think it's the perfect way to blend the two of them together, and it's the best spot to view the sunset. You have a nice arch on the bottom and a cool little curve on top, and it just frames it so perfectly. There we have it. There it is. We just finished up the build, and I think it's looking amazing. The colors actually contrast so well with the rest of the desert. You still have that feeling that this belongs here though. Like it's built with materials from the desert. It's just colorful. Getting a bit of a closer look. This might be the coolest thing I've ever built. It's so pretty. I love the colors so much. It just feels like it belongs in the desert. And I know all of these do as well, but this one's extra special. I mean, all the little details are there. It even has, look at the candles up there. The candles are great. Purple variety. Now in the next episode, I want to bring a little bit more life to the area. I want to finish up this cliff face, do a little bit more down here. I think we need a bridge. So we're going to have a cool little bridge design. And we're going to work on some trees. Now, I didn't talk about it earlier in the episode, but I did some testing with this tree over here. I replaced the majority of the jungle leaves with azalea, except for a select few for some shading. I think it looks much more alive as a tree than this one with all the jungle. and I'm probably gonna go and switch all of these out for azalea leaves. Let me know your opinions on the trees, which one you think looks better. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. You'll catch me next week for another episode of Quipz Creates. It's the first time I said it this episode. Alright, bye-bye!